Most people, when they think of Hungary, might just think of Budapest, the beautiful city, the capital city, but there are gems outside of Budapest that are definitely worth exploring here in Hungary, and we are currently in one of the most beautiful towns in Hungary. This is Pécs. Now, we've only got like less than 24 hours here in the city of Pécs. It's not even really a city, it's more of like just a little tiny town in southern Hungary, but it is supposed to be beautiful. It is supposed to be one of the most beautiful cities in all of Hungary. It's a stop that visitors usually like to make after they've left Budapest, if they decide to leave Budapest. But like I said, we don't have a lot of time. That being said, Pécs is a pretty small town, so we gotta go exploring. Let's head to the center of Pécs and let me show you around why this might be the most beautiful city here in Hungary. We've just started making our way into the old town. You can see this entire area is now a walking district. No cars, no nothing, just people walking. First impression is this town is quiet compared to the hustle and bustle of Budapest, compared to the big cities and the churches of Budapest. This is quiet. This is almost eerily silent. So it's like a good breath of fresh air compared to what Budapest is. So if you're really like overwhelmed by the hustle and bustle of Budapest, Pécs, this is the place to come. Now, I just wanted to point out there's something really interesting here, because this is like an ancient old sort of stone thing. Now in the past, Pécs is just like any other medieval town here in Hungary, here in Eastern Europe, and needed to be protected. This was just part of the wall. I think it was part of the old sort of walls that were used to protect the city of Pécs. You can see as we go inside, that's where the center is, that's where the main plaza is, all of that. But here, this is where you can tell the old remnants of the sort of historic old town of Pécs in Hungary. I don't know what the purpose of this artwork is. I'm not sure what the artist was thinking, but it's weird. It's definitely weird. Well, the next stop here in the old town of Pécs is this building right here. This is the National Theater of Pécs. Now, unfortunately, we're not allowed to go inside. I don't think they have a show or anything going on, and we're not allowed to, like in the National sort of Opera House of Budapest, just to go in and check it out. But just looking at the outside, it's beautiful. The carvings are incredible. I think this was built in the 1800s, if I'm correct, like 1834, and it's quite small. I mean, Pécs is a pretty small town, so it's a small thing, but it's a national theater. It's recognized as the national theater here in Pécs. It's not just any municipal or state theater, but it's really, really beautiful. The sort of yellow facade, I love it. And then in front, there's these flowers and there's these fountains that are just absolutely incredible. It's really, really nice. It's such a quiet little town. I'm loving it. I'm loving these sort of views. I'm loving this sort of vibe, and I'm just loving how quiet this place is. Yes, there are a few sort of trendy restaurants along the road here. There's some bakeries and stuff, but it's not touristy. It's just really, really quiet. We haven't even made it to the main square yet, but everywhere I look, I just want to show you guys. It's beautiful. I mean, first, look at this behind me. It's the most beautiful, stunning little area. I think it's like a bar or a restaurant in here. Very fancy, very nice, very beautiful. I mean, that whole street is amazing. And then in front of me on this side is this beautiful, massive church. It's like everywhere you look, it's like a beautiful little rustic European town. It's beautiful, and the prices are cheaper than Budapest. The people are nicer than Budapest, and it's calm, it's slow. Wow, I'm really, really loving this town. If you do come to Hungary, I'm already telling you, I'm recommending this place. Definitely, it's worth the time just to come and take a day trip and visit here. Well, finally, after walking just for a few minutes, I mean, this town is really small. We've made it to the main central square here of Pécs. This is known as Széchenyi Square. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it. I'm probably completely butchering it. But the same thing applies. The vibe is just peaceful. You've got locals here sort of riding their skateboards around. No big tour groups, not a lot of tourists actually. Most of them are locals, you know, just sort of enjoying the afternoon, having ice cream. There's a bunch of restaurants and other statues here. There's a statue of a horse, some other monuments here. But I think there is a mosque over there. So let's go check it out and see if we can go inside. Unfortunately, the mosque right behind me, which is the main mosque here in Pécs, it is currently closed, which is very unfortunate. So we won't be able to visit it today. When we wake up tomorrow, I'll come and check it out tomorrow and I'll show you guys tomorrow. But it's unfortunate they're closed today. It looks really, really cool on the outside. I'm sure it's got some Turkish history to it, but I'll explore that more tomorrow since this is closed right now. Let's go see what else we can do in the city of Pécs. Now, right behind me is the Basilica of Pécs, but that is closed right now. It might not be open tomorrow. I don't know. I'll check it out tomorrow, but I can't be sure. But what's really interesting are these statues behind me. These are an old, ancient statues of the 12 apostles in the Christian history, and they have a little bit of a description of each one here. I mean, well, this one is James the Less. That one is Judas, and it tells the story of each apostle. But the statues itself, I'm sure, are from really a very long time ago. The stone is just completely just almost destroyed, but they've managed to somehow preserve it, which in and of itself is really impressive. These are known as the wandering apostles, and they were sort of used at the cathedral previously. Nowadays, of course, the cathedral is very new, it's very bright, it's very shiny, but these are the original apostles, the wandering apostles that were on top of the church that have now been brought down here as a sort of, I don't know, it's sort of sheltered under this brick roof thing, but it's really interesting. I'm just shocked by how well preserved it is. It is really well preserved, so that is very impressive to see. Now, right behind me is the Basilica, which we can't enter today. Maybe we'll see if we can enter tomorrow, but this entire area is really important because this place was the home to the Pécs Basilica and the medieval university, which was a big educational center. It was the episcopate of Pécs, and it was known as a medieval university. Cathedrals, bishops, a lot of very high-ranking church people were educated here, and it was a really big educational center, which is why you can see behind me all these like ancient walls, all these ancient sort of artifacts that sort of remind you again that, you know, this has been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. The Basilica may be new, the Basilica may have been restored, but this original site was a place of great learning, of great cultural achievements for many hundreds of years. I mean, the episcopate of Pécs was established in 1009. I mean, just imagine, that's almost 1,000 years ago. That's how much history is located in this place, and it's incredible to see, like, even the wall and everything are still preserved here to this day. This city is full of history, and I'm loving how historic it is. I was mentioning earlier that here in Pécs there was an old wall. I don't remember if at the very beginning of the video I had mentioned it as I was walking into the old town, but here right behind me is literally the wall. It is the wall that was protecting the town of Pécs, and this is the wall that protects the Basilica. We're on the northern wall. Now there's like a walkway, so you just climb up some of the stairs behind the church and you get to this beautiful sort of northern wall walk. And if you're asking, who are they protecting from? Well, you know, the Ottomans. They were protecting from the Ottomans, and the Ottomans, at the end of the day, did manage to conquer Pécs. So they did win over Pécs, and we'll see that tomorrow at the mosque. But this is the sort of wall that was protecting the city of Pécs from foreign invaders, and I think it actually reminds me a lot of the sort of medieval walls I saw in Turkey. The sort of structure of how the walls are built, the protections that were used to protect the city inside. But it's just incredible to imagine being a soldier here, you know, hundreds of years ago in a medieval outfit protecting the city of Pécs. Obviously, it's become obsolete today. It's just a sort of museum, a memorial to the history of Pécs, but it's really remarkably well preserved. This street that I'm walking along is known as Kapatalan Street. And why is this street important? Today it's known as Museum Street. It is known as the Museum Street of Pécs because every building here is basically a museum. But historically, those who are on the advisory board of the bishopric, whatever the Catholic or the church structure was here in Pécs, they used to live here. So the bishops would live here, the bishop's palace is actually right over there, and then other people who worked at the church would all live on this street right here. Obviously, because of that, there's a lot of old buildings where those church members would live, And those buildings have simply turned into different museums for all different purposes here in Pécs. But it's just incredible to imagine that this tiny little street has such a long history behind it. The beautiful cobblestones, it's incredible to just be here and see this. The sun is getting low, sunset's going to be happening soon, so obviously we've got to find a place to sit down and enjoy the view, and I found the perfect place here in Pécs. This hill that we're currently on is called Cavalry Hill, and on the top of it is like this little church, I think, but it's closed right now so we can't access it. But it is beautiful. You can see there's the entire view of Pécs right below us. It looks stunning. It truly looks stunning, but I think what we're going to do is we're going to enjoy the sunset from here. Honestly, it's gorgeous. This town, I'm really loving the vibe of this town. It truly is amazing. Let's just relax here and let's see the sunset from here. Good morning, guys, and welcome back to Pécs. After a great night of some pasta and a really great sleep, we are on this beautiful city for the morning, and it seems like a lot of things are open now. So I think the main thing that I really want to see and check out is the mosque here in Pécs. So let's go ahead and see what's inside. It should be really beautiful. The name of this mosque is the Gazi Qasim Pasha, and if you know anything about Pécs history, this place was actually conquered by the Ottomans, but originally at this location there was the local parish church of Pécs. It was only turned into a mosque after the Ottomans had conquered and taken over Pécs. Now unfortunately I didn't realize this, but you need to pay to actually enter the mosque. It's about $5. I don't feel like paying the money just to go in and see a mosque. It's also not that big of a mosque, but it does look beautiful from the outside, and the history here, like I said, the only reason it's here is because the Ottomans came and took it over. So actually below the mosque is the remnants of the church on top of which the mosque is built, which is why the entrance to the mosque is actually underground and it's not at the level of the mosque, which is really incredible. But yeah, this is, like I said, one of the classic symbols of Turkish architecture here in Pécs. There's nothing clearer than showing Ottoman domination of Hungary than the small town that was taken over by the Ottomans hundreds and hundreds of years ago here in southern Hungary. Well, we were here yesterday, but it looks like finally this place is open for the morning. This right here is the Basilica of Pécs. Let's go check it out. We are currently inside the Basilica. It's beautiful, but I gotta be quiet, but I'll show you guys more about it later. This place is incredible. I mean, just look at this. We have finally made it up to the top of the Basilica. The towers of the Basilica are actually accessible. Only one of them is accessible. I think this is the one on the southeast corner. I might be completely wrong. I honestly do not know. But this basilica is old. The original ruins of it were founded during the Roman Empire. And then over time, it got destroyed. They built another one. The current one was built in the 1800s. So the current design of this basilica is in the 1800s. And I think you can see for yourself, it is gorgeous. It is beautiful. The paintings in there, everything. It is honestly incredible. Like I said, this is a really big religious spot. I mean, Pécs was like a religious site for Christianity. It was ordered by the Pope, you know, to have, you know, this church, this basilica built here because it's so important. Pécs is such an important religious city. And they even have underground crypts, which are beautiful. But like I said, the best part, obviously, you can climb up to the top of the tower. You can see this tower right above me. We are just on one of the towers here. Now, entrance into the basilica is not free. You do have to pay a fee. And funnily enough, it's actually the same price as if you had gone to visit the mosque. But I didn't realize that until I went in and they told me, oh, actually you can get you can get a little bit higher of a price for both of them together. But it's fine. I think that the basilica is beautiful enough. And like I said, this is something that's been commissioned by the Pope before. It's been a really old, important church here in Pécs. The great thing is that when you go in the church, they give you a sort of a tourist brochure guide to the history of the basilica, why it's important, why it's, you know, why this town in general is such an important religious site for Christians and the history behind it. Like I said, this place has been around for literally thousands of years. It started from the Roman Empire. That's how old this place is. But I think I'm going to end the video here from the top of a basilica here in Pécs. It's an incredible view of the entire city. I hope you can see it from here. But I think my drone also got some incredible shots of the city anyways. But it is really beautiful. I have to say, my impression of Pécs is that it is probably one of my favorite places to visit. It's so calm, it's so quiet, there's not a lot of tourists, and it's just like you can escape the hustle and bustle of Budapest here. The people are friendlier, the roads are beautiful, the little narrow streets, and it's just calming, it's just soothing. I know Pécs is a really nice destination to come to according to a lot of other travelers, but genuinely I have to say this has been one of my favorite towns in Eastern Europe so far. So if you definitely come to Hungary, don't just spend your time in Budapest, come down to Pécs. It's not that far away, it's only like a 2.5 hour, 3 hour train ride. It's very cheap to come here and it is beautiful. It's definitely worth your money to come here. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I know it's a bit rushed, but Pécs is a pretty small town. There's not really that much to see to it. So it's been an amazing time here. If you enjoyed it, definitely give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more food and travel videos. This will be our last video here from Hungary, but do not worry. We've got a lot of videos coming up. We've got a lot more videos from this part of the world. So I'll see you guys on the next one, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye guys.